And I was gonna say something, but I forgot it. That's okay. I do want to move on to the crowdfunding stuff and like how, because you mentioned how you did educational content. I would like to know for anyone else, because I know there's a bunch of film majors in York College and F&M that would love to know how to crowdfund for their short films.
So at this point, I've successfully crowdfunded a documentary, a feature film, which was Transient, and for gold. So this is what Greg was alluding to that people don't like to hear. Everybody wants a magic answer, which is I magically I'll create this magic post that gets viewed by 20,000 people, and they're all going to do the things that no human being wants to do.
Right.
And what I mean by that is be honest with yourself. When was the last time that you went to link in bio and did that extra step that your friend suggests in their posts on Instagram? When was the last time that on their story, you didn't just, oh, that's cute, I'll hit the like button so they think I liked it.
Right.
But you scroll past it instead of actually clicking the link.
Or reading all the text that's in the video. Or reading
all the text that's in there. We've all done it. We're human beings. Sometimes we're busy. Sometimes you're seeing it, halfway through your day, and like you're not going to go back to that story to find it. So like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So this is the part that's inconvenient that people want a magic answer for that they don't want to do. You have to contact everybody. Everybody. So in a lot of people's mind, it's like, oh, that seems spammy, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, but it depends on what you want to think about it as. I was like, throughout my life, the amount of friends that have contacted me to buy their kids Girl Scout cookies, their kids
Boy Scout popcorn.
Yeah, like
anything.
Mary Kay, anything. Like I've been invited to so many parties for like Tupperware, any number of things. You're running for the first time and you want to raise money for X cause. And it's just like, I don't see that as an inconvenience. If I don't have the money, I just nicely tell my friend, I don't have the money, but I'll share it. And if somebody else has the money, they can. Sometimes I do, and I'll give like a couple of bucks. Every couple of bucks helps.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that just give you a thumbs up and you know that they're just going to ignore your post. But like for the most part, most people don't, like, they're not going to get angry at you. They're just going to say either, no, I can't, or
they'll ignore you.
They'll just ignore it and they'll keep moving on with their life. And so like, there's this like mental block that people have with wanting to, especially when it's something that's theirs. And that's the thing. It's just like, this is your project. You know what I mean? Right. You are a part of this. Do you want it to be successful? So like, that's the thing is like, you have to be as passionate about this thing that's inside of you that you want made as that mom is to win whatever prizes for her daughter's Girl Scout cookies. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
and like the thing about it is that like people that and they go, oh, but I have this like, I don't want to like, that's my big hurdle is to just asking people. And it's like, I try to be nice, but I get very frustrated. It's like, because I was there too, but it's like, do you want your thing to
succeed?
Made? Do you want it to get made? Do you want to have the funds to do it? Or do you want to dip into your life savings? If you don't have any life savings, then you're not going to get it done. Right. So it's like, either you get over it and just ask people. Like I must have raised $500, $600 or something like that from people I don't even know who are on my Facebook and Instagram who just follow me. And I was just like, hey, like you follow me, like, here's my project. Like if you want to follow it, like we did ours through Seed and Spark, which has the feature of like, if you get X amount of followers, there's like certain perks for that. And then there's like 3 tiers to that, 250, 500 and 1,000. And we just gave people the option. We said, hey, if you can't afford to give any money right now, that's fine. You can follow for free. And that's very helpful. And what we found is that a majority of people, if they went onto the thing, they were just going to be like, I'll give $5, I'll give $10. Like I've seen projects on there that got $10,000 from like 50 people or 60 people because they got 2 people who gave them $4,000, $5,000. And it's like, for us, we had 166 backers to get us to like that $10,000 to $12,000 mark. And it's like, to me, that says that there's more people who are interested in seeing it. And for us, like, it gives us a database of 300 something followers, 360 followers or something like that. So that when we post updates, there's 300 plus people who are like, wow, like, you know, there's guys on my hockey team are like, I just saw your update. Like, so when is the premiere? And I can talk to them about it and keep the word alive. And then when we're doing the Roaming Shadow thing, there's an email blast that goes out to a whole bunch of people, and people are legitimately excited. Like, they go like, I can't wait to see your film. Like, it looks really cool. And it's like, if you don't tell people that it's going to be a thing, you don't include them in it, because when people give money to it, they're literally investing in it, not just monetarily, but they're investing in it emotionally. They want to see it, and they're your friends, they're your family, they're people who are following you. They don't want to see you fail. They want you to succeed. And like, it really is, we think it's not, but it's pure ego that stops us from doing it, because we're thinking like, well, like, either I'm not important enough, or like, I don't want to have to ask, and it's all this I, and it's like, just let them decide for you. You know, again, like, what are they going to do? Ignore it?
No, is the worst thing they're going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to
who's unfriending?
They're going to delete you.
Who's unfriending you because you asked for $10 for your project? Someone who's not your friend anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like, get over it.
And it's so...
I'm very into young theories.
You're very into young theories.
I get kind of aggressive about these things.
And I mean, it's curious, like Greg mentioned, like the people that will do it too, that you just didn't expect. Like, I had a friend who I have not seen since my first year of law school. Again, Corey. I have not seen since then, who gave $500, and I was just like, I wasn't even like super duper like we were on the same like study group, but like we haven't seen each other, you know, in a very long time, you know, and like it was a way to reconnect. And it's just like, that's the other thing I would say about crowdfunding, is that like in our minds, we make a list and you're just like, well, okay, fine, I'm going to do it, but I'll only contact 25 people. And it's all going to be my mom, my dad, my cousins, you know, like my friends and family, like, which is what's called an A-list. Right. So it's like all your people that are closest to you, that, you know, are probably, they're safe, right? Because it's just, and that's fine. That's a good starting off point. Like, they're safe. You know that they're not going to like unfriend you or tell you off for sending it to them. So like, start there, sure. And like, you know, create like a thing. But like at some point, you're going to have to get to that list of people that it's just like, I don't really remember how I even friended this person. But you know what? Like,
why not?
We follow each other. Yeah. And if they were doing a project, they would probably message me. I've gotten messages from people that are like, can you just watch my film? Mm-hmm. Can you just, and I have no clue when we became friends or how. And it's just, you know, probably some like meetup group, you know, and like at some point in the day, and I'm like, sure, like, this is my thing. Can you help at least follow it for free?
And like, what are you networking for if to not use those contacts? Mm-hmm. Like, not that you're going to network to be like picking people's pockets or anything like that, but you're networking, you're collaborating with people like that, and you're finding that you have common ground in these artistic areas. And some people are just like, I don't have the means to create something myself, but I love seeing other people create. And we found that most people are just like, this is so cool. If there's any other way I can help, I'd love to be able to help, you know, like. And it's like, oh, great. Do you have like an office location? And I'm like, yeah. Or like, Crescentia did the costuming. She's like, I can't give you any money, but I can give you my service. And it's like, well, that's great, because our film takes a course over 1,000 days. We need to have this outfit, this singular outfit, destroyed by the end of it. And it's like, I don't know how to do. I've done some costume designing, but I've never done it professionally. And she was like, I can't give you money, but I can give you professional level costume designing. And she had props and different things like that we could use.
They were definitely hugely influential in terms of like giving us like so many options and stuff, though. So it's great just to like be able to like call upon your community. So as far as like in terms of crowdfunding, I think the other thing to quick mention is the different ones that you could possibly use.
There's a lot.
There are a lot. The main, I would say, 3 that get put out there would be Kickstarter. There's Indiegogo. Actually, there's 4. There's Indiegogo, GoFundMe, Seed and Spark. Yeah, would be the other one, and Kickstarter. And so it really depends on what you're looking to do. For us, Seed and Spark was a really good option just because they mainly focus on film and the arts. And also they have a really good track record of making sure that you're successful.
They also are a bit more hands-on than the other ones. The other ones, like, you sign up, you get your own thing, and they just host.
Yeah, they're just a host. And
Gotcha.
For Seed and Spark, you get all your material together, you send it in for a review, and then they send you feedback, and they're like, well, and I've seen this so many times with other campaigns, your video is 3 minutes long and you never talk about what your film's about. Your video is 3 minutes long and you never get to the point. Your video is 3 minutes long and it's just a single camera in the corner of the room and you don't ever see anything or something like that. And they'll be
most
like,
people's attention span.
Yeah, they'll be like,
Right.
People generally stop watching after 90 seconds. So get to the point, and your text doesn't tell anyone about your team. This doesn't do anything. Your incentives are all over the place, and you're giving away associate producers credit for $1, and it's like, that's insane. Like, no, you can't. Like, that's a terrible way of going about getting money. So they'll do that, and then you take that feedback and you incorporate it into your thing, and then you send it back to them, and they'll be like, great, cool.
Now you're ready to launch. Now you're ready to launch. So that was like really cool.
And they'll share it on their Instagram.
Yeah.
And
that's so cool.
So they have a really high success rate because they pride themselves on having a high success rate, and they try to do their best to support you to keep getting their success rate even higher. Whereas like Indiegogo is just like, we need a host. We are a big platform to host. And we're banking on it having the most amount of eyeballs on it as possible. So it's like, you're hoping that random people are able to click on it.
Right.
Right. Well, I mean, on the flip side of that, I will say, like, Indiegogo is one of the ones, I think it's the only one actually, where you can keep so even if you set a goal, you can make it a flexible goal. So therefore, like, if you only raise 10 grand out of like the 50 you're asking for, like, at least you keep the money.
Whereas on Seed and Spark, you have to reach at least 80%
in order to be greenlit, in order for it to happen. Then there's other ones like
Kickstarter.
He likes the pressure. Kickstarter, I feel like, is also the same kind of thing. Now GoFundMe is just like
it's just a
fundraising. Yeah, like that's just like a fundraising page. So like some people like to do that because there's like almost no pressure whatsoever. It's just like, they're just going to keep sharing this.
Competing with people is like, please give the money for the surgery for my dog. Like,
right.
It's a bit more everywhere. Whereas like Seed and Spark's more film and music related, and Indiegogo is like a bunch of other stuff. So,
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's really what your goal is.
Yeah. So there's like, it just, you need to, like, when discussing crowdfunding, it's just like, you need to figure out strategically what's the best route for me. And if like, well, I'm a little bit nervous or, trepidatious about like spending, like not getting all that money. Like, I have a friend who his campaign through Indiegogo. He's out in Texas. It's for a film called Marrow, and like in 2 days he's raised over $20,000 of he's trying to raise 80, but like he's got like
that's good. He's over a quarter way there.
He's over a quarter of the way. Like, usually they tell you that's the good rule of thumb, is you want to be at 30% of what you're trying to raise in the first week of your campaign. And so that's like your gauge. It's like, if we're not there, then we need to kind of like get on it. Yeah, like we need to start accelerating some things here and there. And so like he's done great with that. But that was like his thing, is he's like, well, it's flexible, and like I chose it because that way I don't have to worry about just in case. Yeah.